There are two kinds of people in this world. Those who wait and those who remember. Remember what? That the universe moves when you do. That what you speak you create. That nothing outside you is more powerful than what's already within. Many people spend their entire lives chasing external signs, hoping that success will one day come knocking. They scroll through social media looking for proof that dreams come true. They read success stories hoping to find the secret formula that will finally unlock their own breakthrough. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, the ideal circumstances. But the truth is, success doesn't visit, it responds. It responds to clarity, intention, and alignment. It responds to those who understand that the outer world is nothing more than a reflection of the inner landscape. It responds to individuals who have learned to command their reality from a place of spiritual authority, rather than begging from a position of lack. And that's exactly how the woman behind some of the most powerful teachings of all time lived. She didn't manifest by accident. She commanded life with conviction. Florence Scovel Shinn understood something that most people never grasp in their entire lifetime. She knew that the physical world is secondary to the mental and spiritual realm. She knew that every single thing you see around you, every building, every invention, every relationship, every achievement, first existed as a thought, as an idea, as a vision in someone's mind. Before the world talked about vision boards or manifestation challenges, she was already proving through her own life that the mind, when disciplined, becomes the bridge between the invisible and the real. This isn't about blind faith. It's about knowing the rules of the game. She understood that there are spiritual laws governing this universe, just as surely as there are physical laws. You don't have to understand gravity to be affected by it. You don't have to believe in spiritual law for it to work in your life. But when you align with these laws consciously, deliberately, with full awareness, that's when you step into true power. She lost everything once. She was rejected, silenced, and misunderstood. Her marriage fell apart. Her financial security crumbled. Society dismissed her ideas as foolish optimism. Critics labeled her teachings as unrealistic fantasy. And yet she became one of the most quoted spiritual voices of our time. Not because she was loud, but because she was aligned. Not because she forced her way through obstacles, but because she understood how to work with the invisible forces that govern all of life. So let me ask you, have you been trying to manifest your dream life from a place of fear? Have you been approaching your goals with the energy of desperation? Constantly worried about how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, whether you're worthy enough for it to happen? Or are you stepping into your power every single day? Are you waking up each morning and making a conscious decision about who you're going to be, how you're going to show up, what energy you're going to embody regardless of what your current circumstances look like? Because if you knew how powerful your word really is, you'd never again say, I can't. If you truly understood the creative force that moves through your thoughts, your words, your emotions, you would guard them like precious treasures. You would speak with the authority of someone who knows they are creating their reality with every breath. You're not here to wish. You're here to remember. Remember that what you speak into your world shapes it moment by moment. Remember that your thoughts are not just random mental activity. They are creative forces that attract corresponding experiences into your life. Remember that you are not a victim of circumstances, but a powerful creator who has temporarily forgotten their true nature. And this is exactly how her dream life came to be. Not by force, but by spiritual law. Florence Scovel Shinn didn't achieve success through manipulation, coercion, or aggressive pursuit. She didn't climb over others or compromise her values to get what she wanted. She simply aligned herself with the natural flow of abundance that is constantly seeking expression through willing vessels. She understood that resistance creates struggle, but alignment creates flow. She knew that when you fight against what is, you create more of what you don't want. But when you focus on what you desire and hold that vision with unwavering faith, the universe begins to reorganize itself to match your inner conviction. That dream in your heart, it didn't appear by accident. It's not wishful thinking or unrealistic fantasy. It's not something you invented to escape your current reality. It's a spiritual assignment. A message from your higher self asking, will you rise to meet who you were meant to be? Every desire that stirs within you is life itself seeking greater expression through your unique gifts, talents, and perspective. The dreams that won't leave you alone, the visions that keep calling to you, the goals that light you up from the inside. These are not random occurrences. They are divine assignments, spiritual callings, messages from the part of you that knows what's possible. Florence Scovel Shinn didn't teach people to chase their desires. She taught them to command their reality through unwavering alignment. She understood that chasing creates distance between you and what you want. When you chase something, you automatically position yourself as separate from it, as lacking it, as being behind it. But when you command, you speak from a place of authority, from a place of knowing, from a place of spiritual certainty. She believed and proved that the dream already exists in the invisible. Every invention, every innovation, every breakthrough that has ever occurred in human history existed first in the realm of pure potential, before it manifested in physical form. The airplane existed before the Wright brothers built it. The telephone existed before Bell created it. Your dream exists before you manifest it. The only task is to remove the blocks within that resist it. These blocks are not external obstacles, though they may appear that way. They are internal limitations, beliefs about what's possible for someone like you, fears about whether you deserve success, doubts about your ability to handle what you're asking for. You weren't meant to live a life of hesitation. You were designed for boldness, for courage, for the kind of unwavering faith that moves mountains and parts seas. You weren't created to second-guess every desire, to constantly question your worthiness, to wait for permission from others before you dare to dream big. You were meant to live with divine certainty. The kind of certainty that Florence Scovel Shinn embodied. The kind of certainty that doesn't need external validation, because it's rooted in spiritual truth. The kind of certainty that remains steady regardless of temporary appearances. And let me tell you something real. Everyone you admire, everyone who has created something meaningful, had to cross the same threshold from doubt to decision. There's not a single person you look up to who didn't face moments of uncertainty, periods of challenge, times when everything seemed to be working against them. But what separated them from those who gave up was their ability to make a decision and hold that decision, even when the evidence didn't support it yet. Take Sarah Blakely. Before becoming a billionaire, she was selling fax machines door to door. Every day she faced rejection after rejection. People hung up on her, slammed doors in her face, dismissed her as just another annoying salesperson. She had no business background, no investors, no road map. No one in her family had ever built a business empire. She had no connections in the fashion industry, no experience in product development, no understanding of manufacturing processes, but she had a vision. And more than that, she had faith. Not the kind of faith that hopes things might work out someday. The kind of faith that Florence Scovel Shinn wrote about. The kind that acts as if the desired outcome is already guaranteed. While everyone around her expected her to settle for a safe, predictable life, she began living as if she already knew the outcome. She didn't spend time wondering if her idea would work. She spent time figuring out how to make it work. She didn't waste energy on doubt. She invested her energy in aligned action. She wrote down her goals with crystal clarity. She spoke them aloud with conviction, not as wishes but as declarations. And when she created her product, she didn't ask, "Will they like it?" She decided, "They already will." She approached potential retailers not as someone begging for a chance, but as someone offering them an opportunity to be part of something revolutionary. That's what Florence meant when she said, "Your word is your wand." You don't wait for life to validate you. You decide who you are, and life responds to that vibration. Your words are not just sounds you make with your mouth. They are creative forces that shape your reality. When you speak with conviction, with faith, with absolute certainty, you activate spiritual laws that begin to work on your behalf, even when you can't see how things could possibly work out. So ask yourself, are you still waiting for a sign? Are you still looking for external confirmation that it's okay to pursue your dreams? Are you still hoping that someday the conditions will be perfect enough for you to finally take action? Or are you finally ready to say it is done? Are you ready to speak with the authority of someone who knows that what they desire is already theirs in the invisible realm and is simply waiting for the perfect timing to manifest in the physical world? The dream is not a maybe, it's a memory, and your only job is to return to it again and again until your reality catches up. This is one of the most profound truths Florence Scovel Shinn taught. Your dreams, your visions, your deepest desires are not random fantasies your mind created to entertain you. They are memories of your future self calling back to you, showing you who you're meant to become, giving you a preview of what's possible when you align with your highest potential. Most people don't realize this, but their lives are just mirrors of their own hesitation. They look around at their current circumstances and feel discouraged. They compare their reality to their dreams and feel like there's an impossible gap between where they are and where they want to be. They say they want the dream, but they still speak like it's far away. They use language that reinforces separation. Someday I'll have. If only I could. I wish I was. Maybe one day. Every word that comes out of their mouth pushes their desired reality further into the future. They act like they need to earn what's already been assigned to them by divine law. They believe they have to prove their worthiness before they can receive what they desire. They think they need to accumulate certain credentials, reach certain milestones, or become a different person before they're qualified for their dreams. But Florence Scovel Shinn understood something different. She knew that everything you desire already belongs to you in the spiritual realm. Your job is not to earn it or prove you deserve it. Your job is to align with it, to become a vibrational match for it, to embody the energy of someone who already has what they desire. Florence Scovel Shinn didn't hope her life would change. She aligned with it first mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and that alignment became her magnet. She didn't spend her time focused on what was wrong with her current situation. She didn't waste energy complaining about her circumstances or making excuses for why things weren't working out yet. Instead, she disciplined her mind to focus consistently on her desired outcome. Mental alignment means controlling your thoughts, directing your focus, and refusing to entertain ideas that contradict your vision. It means catching yourself when you start dwelling on problems and deliberately redirecting your attention to solutions and possibilities. Spiritual alignment means connecting with the source of all good, recognizing that you are not separate from the creative power of the universe, but an expression of it. It means understanding that what you desire is not outside of you waiting to be attracted. It's within you waiting to be expressed. Emotional alignment means feeling the feelings of having your desire fulfilled before it manifests physically. It means generating the emotions of gratitude, excitement, and satisfaction as if your dream is already your reality. The subconscious doesn't wait for proof. It responds to posture. It doesn't matter what your bank account says right now. It doesn't matter what your current job title is. It doesn't matter what other people think about your chances of success. What matters is the posture you take internally, the way you carry yourself mentally and emotionally. If you live like the vision is real, the world will follow your lead. People will start treating you differently. Opportunities will begin appearing in ways you never expected. Circumstances will shift to support your new identity. But if you live like it's just a wish, it will stay out of reach forever. If you continue to embody the energy of someone who's still waiting, still hoping, still trying to figure out how it's going to happen, then that's exactly what you'll continue to experience. More waiting, more hoping, more trying. Sarah Blakely is a perfect example of this principle in action. She didn't create Spanx by asking the world for permission. She didn't conduct focus groups to see if people thought her idea was good enough. She didn't wait for experts to validate her vision. She stepped into her future identity and stayed there even when no one believed in her. She began thinking like a successful entrepreneur before she had a successful business. She started speaking like someone who was going to revolutionize the fashion industry before she had sold a single product. When investors laughed at her idea, she kept pitching. When stores said no, she kept knocking. When people told her it was impossible, she kept believing. She understood what Florence Scovel Shinn taught. That opposition is often a sign that you're moving in the right direction. That resistance appears strongest right before breakthrough. She believed in something she couldn't yet see. And that belief shaped her reality. She didn't need the physical evidence to believe. She believed first, and then the evidence appeared to match her belief. She didn't need others to approve. She needed to stay aligned. She understood that other people's opinions about her dreams were simply reflections of their own limitations, their own fears, their own inability to see beyond current circumstances. And that's what most people miss. They try to manifest from the outside in, changing their circumstances, their schedules, their followers, their environment. They think that if they just work harder, if they just network more, if they just learn one more strategy, then they'll finally break through to the next level. But true transformation happens from the inside out. Your vibration leads and the physical follows. Your internal state of being creates your external experience. Your consciousness is the cause, and your circumstances are the effect. Florence used to say that when you act as if, you're not pretending, you're preparing. You're not living in denial or fantasy. You're walking in faith, not fantasy. You're aligning yourself with the spiritual truth that your desire already exists and is making its way to you through whatever channels are available. So what's stopping you from doing the same? What's preventing you from stepping into the energy of someone who already has what they desire? What's keeping you stuck in the vibration of waiting instead of the vibration of receiving? Fear. The fear that you're not qualified enough, not smart enough, not connected enough, not talented enough. The fear that you'll fail, that you'll be rejected, that you'll be judged, that you'll be disappointed. Doubt. The voice that says you're not ready, that you need more time, more knowledge, more resources, more experience before you can step into your power. The voice that says you're being unrealistic, that you should be more practical, that you should have a backup plan, that you should lower your expectations to avoid disappointment. Silence it. Speak louder. Your mind is listening to every word you say, every thought you think, every emotion you feel. And it's creating your reality, based on whatever you feed it most consistently. And the moment you live like it's already yours, that's when the shift begins. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Not because your circumstances suddenly became perfect, but because you decided to embody perfection, regardless of what was happening around you. You've been asking for signs. You've been waiting for confirmation, for validation, for some external indication that it's safe to move forward, that you're on the right track, that your dreams are actually possible. But the truth is, you've already received them. That dream that won't leave you alone. That's a sign. That vision that keeps coming back to you in quiet moments. That's a sign. That quiet inner nudge that whispers, "This is for you." That's a sign. That moment you felt something was meant for you, when you felt that spark of recognition, that sense of destiny, that was the sign. The real question is, are you still waiting for confirmation, or are you finally ready to move like someone who already knows? Are you going to continue seeking permission from a world that doesn't understand your vision? Or are you going to give yourself permission to pursue what calls to your soul? Florence Scovel Shinn taught that life doesn't respond to doubt. It responds to decision. And decision isn't something you make once and forget. It's a frequency you choose and hold, even when nothing outside you has changed yet. Decision is not just a mental choice. It's an energetic commitment. It's a vibrational stance that you maintain regardless of temporary appearances, regardless of setbacks, regardless of other people's opinions. Most people never manifest what they desire, because they keep waiting for the external world to shift first. They want to see evidence before they believe. They want proof before they commit. They want guarantees before they take risks. But reality bends to the inner world, not the other way around. The physical realm is always responding to the mental and spiritual realm. What you see around you is the result of what you've been thinking, feeling, and believing. If you want to change what you see, you have to change what you think, feel, and believe. Sarah Blakely didn't know how it would happen. She couldn't see the path from where she was to where she wanted to be. She didn't have a detailed plan for how she was going to build a billion-dollar company. She just knew it would happen. And that knowing activated something deeper. That knowing activated persistence when everyone else would have given up. That knowing activated creativity when conventional approaches didn't work. That knowing activated alignment with the right people, the right opportunities, the right timing. The universe doesn't need a perfect plan from you. It just needs your clear direction. It needs you to be crystal clear about what you want and absolutely committed to receiving it. When you provide that clarity and commitment, the universe begins orchestrating circumstances, connections, and opportunities that you could never have planned or predicted. So, if you're wondering why things still feel stuck, if you're frustrated because your dreams still seem far away, if you're confused about why you're not seeing the progress you expected, ask yourself this: have you fully stepped into the version of you who already has what you want? Or are you still negotiating with fear? Are you still playing small? Are you still hedging your bets, keeping one foot in your old identity, just in case your dreams don't work out? You can't create a new life with the same old mindset. You can't attract abundance while identifying with lack. You can't manifest confidence while embodying insecurity. You can't draw in success while holding on to the victim mentality. It has to end now. The hesitation, the self-doubt, the constant delay, the endless research without action, the perpetual preparation without implementation, the habitual waiting for better timing, more resources, perfect conditions. Not because the timing is finally right, but because you're finally ready to decide. Not because everything has fallen into place, but because you're ready to step into your power regardless of what's in place. Florence once said, "Do not settle for half a blessing. Either you believe you are fully worthy, or you're still operating from a place of limitation." You can't partially believe in your dreams. You can't halfway commit to your vision. You can't sort of think you deserve success. This is your turning point. This is the moment where you stop living in the energy of someday and start living in the energy of now. This is where you stop talking about what you're going to do and start being who you need to be. Decide. Decide that your vision is real, that it's more than just a fantasy or a wish. Decide that it's a preview of your future, a glimpse of what's coming. A promise from your higher self about what's possible. Decide that your word carries power. That when you speak your desires with conviction, you're not just making noise. You're issuing commands to the universe. You're activating spiritual laws that begin working immediately on your behalf. Decide that the dream was placed in you for a reason, and you're no longer asking for permission to live it. You're no longer waiting for others to validate your vision or approve of your goals. You're no longer seeking external confirmation of what you already know internally. Because the moment you choose with conviction, life rearranges itself to match that vibration. Opportunities that were invisible become obvious. People who can help you appear in your path. Resources you need become available. Doors that were closed swing open. And that's not magic. That's spiritual law. That's how the universe works when you align with its natural flow instead of fighting against it. You were never meant to chase. Chasing implies lack, separation, desperation. You were meant to attract. Attraction implies wholeness, alignment, magnetism. But attraction doesn't begin with affirmations or lucky breaks. It begins with energy, with embodiment. It begins with becoming the type of person who naturally receives what they desire, because they've aligned themselves vibrationally with it. Florence understood that the invisible realm governs the visible one. She knew that what happens in the physical world is always a reflection of what's happening in the mental and spiritual realm. Change the inner, and the outer must follow. She didn't teach people to hope for results. Hope implies uncertainty, doubt about whether something will actually happen. She taught them to become a match for results. To embody the energy of someone who already has what they desire. That's where most people fail. They ask for the dream, but they live like it's still out of reach. They declare one thing with their words, but carry the energy of lack in their body, their emotions, their daily actions. They say they want financial abundance, but they worry constantly about money. They say they want love, but they feel lonely and unworthy. They say they want success, but they doubt their abilities and make excuses for why they're not further along. And the subconscious doesn't listen to your words. It listens to your tone, your frequency, your state. It responds to the energy you consistently embody, not the goals you occasionally state. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. If you want to change what you're attracting, you have to change what you're being. Sarah Blakely became the energy of success long before anyone knew her name. She developed the mindset of an entrepreneur before she had a successful business. She cultivated the confidence of someone who changes industries before she had changed anything. She envisioned the outcome with crystal clarity and backed it with daily action, but most importantly with internal alignment. She didn't just think about success, she felt successful. She didn't just plan for abundance, she embodied abundance. She didn't just want to make a difference, she became someone who makes a difference. She wasn't trying to prove her worth to the world. She knew her worth was inherent, not earned. She understood that she didn't need to become worthy of success. She needed to recognize the worthiness that was already there. That's what Florence meant by speaking the word. It's not about repeating mantras or affirmations mindlessly. It's not about empty repetition or positive thinking without substance. It's about anchoring your identity in truth, in the unseen reality that already exists in the spiritual realm. It's about speaking from the place of the fulfilled desire, rather than the place of the wanting desire. So ask yourself today, what version of you have you been practicing? What identity have you been reinforcing with your thoughts, words, and actions? What energy have you been embodying day after day? The one who's still waiting for permission, still looking for signs, still wondering if they're qualified enough. Or the one who's already received everything they need, who knows they're fully equipped for their assignment, who understands that their dreams chose them just as much as they chose their dreams. Because the moment you shift into that energy, people respond differently. They sense something different about you, something more confident, more certain, more magnetic. They start treating you like someone who's going places, someone who's destined for success. Opportunities appear that you never even applied for. Doors open that you never even knocked on. People want to be associated with you, to support you, to be part of whatever you're creating. This isn't positive thinking. This is vibrational discipline. This is the conscious, deliberate practice of aligning your inner world with your desired outer world before you see any physical evidence of change, and it's not a one-time thing. You don't just decide once and then coast. You practice it daily. You make it a discipline. You treat it like the most important work you'll ever do, because it is. You wake up and speak from the vision, not from the current reality. You walk through your day as if your dreams are already unfolding, not as if you're still waiting for them to begin. You stop asking when will it come, and you start declaring it's already mine. You stop wondering how it's going to happen, and you start trusting that it's happening in ways that are better than anything you could have planned. Because that shift, that quiet, unshakable knowing, that's what turns a wish into a reality. That's what transforms a dream from a distant possibility into a present experience. Florence didn't teach magic. She taught mastery. Mastery over your thoughts, your emotions, your words, your energy. Mastery over the creative forces that are always working through you, whether you're conscious of them or not. And the moment you treat your energy like it matters, the moment you realize that your inner state is the most important thing about you, everything around you will start to reflect that mastery back. Here's the truth. You were never waiting for the dream. The dream was always waiting for you to stop hesitating, to stop shrinking, to stop guessing what you already know deep inside. Your dreams didn't come to torment you, or to show you what you can't have. They came to call you forward, to invite you into a bigger version of yourself, to show you what's possible when you align with your highest potential. Florence Scovel Shinn didn't change her life by luck. She changed it by law, the law of mind, of vibration, of spiritual authority. She understood how consciousness works, how thoughts become things, how the invisible becomes visible. She mastered the space between thought and reality. She learned to hold her vision steady in her mind until it materialized in her world. She developed the ability to maintain her faith even when circumstances seemed to contradict it. And so can you. You have the same mind she had. You have access to the same spiritual laws she used. You have the same creative power flowing through you that flows through every human being who has ever achieved anything meaningful. The only reason the dream feels far away is because you haven't fully stepped into the version of you who's meant to live it. Not just speak it. Not just write it down and put it on a vision board. Not just think about it occasionally when you're feeling motivated, but embody it boldly, clearly, unapologetically. Make it your dominant identity. Let it inform how you think, how you speak, how you move through the world, how you show up in every situation. Sarah Blakely didn't become who she is by chance. She didn't stumble into success or get lucky. She made a series of decisions and held those decisions with unwavering commitment. She didn't let rejection define her. She chose to see every no as part of a greater alignment, not as evidence that she should give up or lower her expectations. Not a denial, but a redirection. Not a sign that she wasn't meant for success, but confirmation that she was being guided toward something even better than what she originally imagined. And that's what you're being called to do now. Stop interpreting challenges as signs that you should quit. Start seeing them as part of the process, as opportunities to deepen your faith, to strengthen your resolve, to prove to yourself that you're serious about your dreams. You already have the desire, and that desire is proof of possibility. The fact that you can dream it means you can achieve it. The fact that it calls to you means you're meant for it. The fact that it won't leave you alone means it's part of your spiritual assignment. So if this message is waking something up in you, don't just listen and move on. Don't just feel inspired for a moment and then return to your old patterns. Let it land. Let it activate something deeper. Take one small but powerful action right now. Make a decision that you've been avoiding. Speak a truth you've been afraid to voice. Step into an identity you've been reluctant to claim. Comment below with, "I decide now to claim the shift," not as empty words, but as a genuine declaration of your readiness to move from waiting to embodying, from hoping to knowing, from someday to now. Subscribe to this channel if you are ready to walk this path, because this isn't just inspiration. This is transformation, and we walk it together. We support each other's growth. We remind each other of our power when we forget. We celebrate each other's victories and learn from each other's challenges. Florence once said, "Man must prepare for the thing he has asked for, when there isn't the slightest sign of it in sight." This is the ultimate test of faith. Your ability to act as if your dream is coming when nothing in your current reality suggests that it is. So start preparing. Start showing up like it's already yours. Start making space in your life for what you desire. Start developing the skills you'll need. Start building the relationships that will support your vision. Start taking the actions that someone with your dream would take. Speak it with the authority of someone who knows their word carries power. Feel it with the intensity of someone who's already living it. Live it with the confidence of someone who understands that what they desire is not a question. It's a certainty. And when doubt tries to return, and it will come back to this truth: your dreams are not accidents. Your desires are not mistakes. Your vision is not unrealistic. It is done. In the invisible realm where all things originate, it is already complete. Your only job is to align yourself with that completion and allow it to unfold in perfect timing in the physical world. Remember who you are. Remember why you're here. Remember that you are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are an expression of it. And from that place of remembrance, create the life you came here to live.